Welcome back to Sport World, your home of sports news. Let's get right into it. Erik ten Hag cried injustice after a controversial video assistant referee decision led to a 2-1 defeat for Manchester United against West Ham at the London Stadium. United were left seething when Michael Oliver, one of the game's senior and most respected officials, instructed David Coote, the on-pitch referee, to review a collision in the area between Matthijs de Ligt and the West Ham striker Danny Ings. There was not much of an appeal for a penalty from the home crowd, and Coote had waved play on, deeming there to be insufficient contact to award a penalty. He changed his mind after watching the incident again, and a subsequent conversion from 12 yards by Jarrod Bowen in added time won West Ham the points, leaving United in 14th, and Ten Hag complaining about the latest decision to go against his team. 3 times this season we feel injustice, Ten Hag said. We have to score, we created so many chances. We should have been 2 or 3 up. We allowed them into the game. When you are losing 1-0, you need big personality, and the team showed resilience to get back into it. It is unfair and unjust, the way we conceded the penalty. Mohamed Salah struck a late equalizer as Liverpool came from behind to rescue a 2-2 draw in a thrilling showdown with title rivals Arsenal at Emirates Stadium. The Gunners did get off to a flying start as Bukayo Saka, an injury doubt ahead of the contest, flew past Andy Robertson, cut inside and rifled a sizzling shot past Callum Kelleher on 9 minutes. Liverpool hit back 9 minutes later as Virgil van Dijk marked his 100th appearance for the visitors as captain with a header from a well-worked left-wing corner. However, the Gunners dominated from that moment on and regained the lead to minutes prior to the interval when Miguel Merino headed in his first goal for the club from Declan Rice's sublime right-wing free kick. Arsenal, who were already without the suspended William Saliba, lost Gabriel and Jurrien Timber to injury as the second period developed, allowing the Merseysiders to find a way back and level when Salah tucked in Darwin Núñez's past 9 minutes from time. The result means Liverpool failed to move back up above leaders Manchester City and remain a point behind Pep Guardiola's champions in second place. Arsenal rise to third but are still 4 points adrift of Arne Slot's side. Next up, both teams switch attention to the League Cup with Arsenal visiting Preston and Liverpool at Brighton on Wednesday night. After a terrible Champions League evening in Barcelona on Wednesday, Bayern Munich had a point to prove when they visited VfL Bochum on Sunday. The Bavarian club showed great character to bounce back from the 4-1 defeat against FC Barcelona with an emphatic performance in the 5-0 win against Bochum. Vincent Kompany's men had a nervy start to the game as Bochum created a couple of good chances. The visitors recovered and dictated the proceedings. Despite a jittery start, Bayern had 73% of possession in the game and conceded only 2 shots on target. They also scored 5 goals at good intervals throughout the game, which were rewards for their dominant spells in the final third. Free-scoring Fiorentina dismantled a disjointed Roma side 5-1 in Sunday's one-sided Serie encounter at Stadio Artemio Franchi. Raffaele Palladino's men fired on all cylinders to inflict the visitors' first away league defeat this season. Roma slumped to an awful start as Moise Kean fired Fiorentina 1-0 up 9 minutes into the game after being left unmarked by Gianluca Mancini. It took the home team only 8 minutes to double their lead, with Lucas Beltran converting the resulting penalty. Summer signing Manu Kone offered Roma a way back into the match with a fantastic finish from the edge of the box toward the end of the first half. However, another lapse of concentration saw Kean tap the ball in from a yard out after being perfectly tied up by Eduardo Bub. The Roma loanee poured more misery on under-fire manager Ivan Juric at the start of the second half. He made light work of several visiting defenders before slotting the ball beneath helpless Miles Viller to make it 4-1, effectively putting the game to bed. But that wasn't the end of Roma's catastrophe as Mats Hummels scored an unfortunate own goal for minutes after replacing Paulo Dybala to make up for Mario Hermoso's sending off. It could have been worse for Roma had Fiorentina seized their chances in the final minutes. The most thrilling Derby d'Italia in history played out at San Siro, as Inter surged into a 4-2 lead only to be clawed back by a brace from Kenan Yildiz for 4-4. The Nerazzurri injury crisis intensified midweek, losing Carlos Augusto, joining Hakan Calhanoglu, Francesco Acerbi and Tajon Buchanan on the treatment table, so Piotr Zielinski was chosen as playmaker. Juve lost to VfB Stuttgart midweek, as Douglas Luiz entered the absentee list with Toyin Koopmeiners, Nico Gonzalez, Gleisen Bremer and Auric Milik. However, Francisco Conceição returned from suspension and Weston McKennie shook off a muscular issue, sending Kenan Yildiz to the bench for only the second time this season with Hefrentherim. Into the second half, while Inter Milan led the scoreline, McKennie's pass sent substitute Kenan Yildiz on the counter. Dumfries backed off and he placed a precise angled drive into the far bottom corner for 4-3. Yildiz could have got the equalizer on 80 minutes, firing over from 12 yards on an Andrea Cambiasso cross. It was only a warning, as moments later he scored from a very similar move, this time taking a touch on the Conceição floated cross before firing in at the back post.